East Palestine, Ohio. The facts are here from the NTSB. I was literally sitting on the couch doing my research, just watching this 8-hour video. As you can see, I've made it 49 minutes in. I've already made a post on the community page basically saying that the NTSB found, right off the bat, they found that the crew did no wrong. They did not contribute to this derailment whatsoever, and I had to post it out there due to all the finger pointing going on when all this happened, when it first happened. So, as I was watching this, I heard something, and I literally started laughing, and I want y'all to hear it. This is one of the investigators for NTSB going over all the facts and the evidence. But he's talking about where this rail car was in conjunction with the entire train, and he talks about when these cars were last inspected, and he makes a comment, a factual comment that I think all of you should hear. So let's listen together.
The train of a total of 149 car consist. A healthy or undamaged journal is cylindrical in shape. High temperatures and a defective bearing typically twist the journal into a conical shape and then falls off, allowing the car to drop to the ground, and in this case, to derail. A teardown of the opposing bearing on the same axle was inconclusive, meaning no defective conditions were found that would indicate a possible bearing failure. The bearing had set in the fire and perishable evidence was destroyed, including the grease seals, the outer cage, and the grease. In Madison, Illinois, the train was mechanically inspected by qualified mechanical inspectors, also known as carmen, as required by federal regulations. In Decatur, Illinois, the added 40 cars were also inspected by qualified mechanical inspectors as required. The train then proceeded to East Palestine, Ohio, where the incident took place. Post-accident inspections revealed that about 25% of the cars had federal defective conditions.
Did y'all just hear that? Let's back it up and listen to it one more time. Listen to it one more time. Listen to this statement right here.
Post-accident inspections revealed that about 25% of the cars had federal defective conditions.
25% of the cars had federal defective conditions. 25%. Now let's rewind all the way back. This right here is why there's federal defects on these cars.
Their tactics is, we're not in the business of repairing freight cars. We're in the business of moving freight. But under the federal regulations, they have to be repaired. If there's a defect, what's going to cause a derailment, this is our craft. This is what the railroad trains us to do. And then when we do our job, they want to charge us.
Fire you.
And there's cases where people have been taken out of service, and we eventually get them back through the arbitration after 2 years. But meanwhile, 2 years, they're out of work and they're not paying their bills.
So in other words, if you don't understand what he's saying here is, this is, I can't remember his name, but he's speaking on the behalf of carmen and mechanical department, but carmen specifically. And he's basically saying whenever a carman finds a defect, a federal defect with a rail car, and they try and tag that car, they try and fire you for it. Train masters have been known, if they try and tell you to set this car out because it's got a bad whatever, bad wheel brake, whatever, a handbrake, whatever the case may be, train masters will go over there and rip that thing off, and you'll never know about it. I don't know if they still do that now. I'm not out there no more. But the shady shit that used to happen, that right there used to happen. But the 25% federal defects on rail cars from East Palestine, so almost 37 rail cars. This was on April 29th, or this actually happened on the 27th or the 26th of 2022. The STB was warned, they were told, and they obviously did nothing about it, because here we are, East Palestine, and then the NTSB just happened to find 37 cars with federal defects. I don't know why Oberman, I don't know why Primus here didn't push this. Perhaps they have, but it seems like they haven't. Because if that train in East Palestine had 37 out of 149 rail cars with federal defects on it, Think about how many trains move daily between all your Class 1 carriers. How many rail cars are out there with federal defects that should be tagged and set out due to a carman doing a proper inspection, but how many of them aren't getting tagged because that carman possibly knows that he's going to get fired, or he's going to get wrote up, pulled out of service, he's going to go through arbitration, draw unemployment, all this crap. The STB knows, the FRA knows, the NTSB knows, AAR knows, the federal government knows. They know these carriers are trying to hold carmen and mechanical departments accountable for tagging cars that need to be set out and be worked on. And why are they not holding these carriers accountable? I don't know why. I'm telling you, I'll call it again. I will call this again. I called East Palestine before it happened. Another one is going to happen until the STB, the NTSB, and the FRA step in and do what the hell they are paid to do by tax-paying citizens. Do your job. Hold these carriers accountable. It's that simple. It's really not that hard.
And in Elliston, Virginia, where a train crew received a hot bearing alarm after traversing a hot bearing detector, stopped and verified that the bearing was overheated, and proceeded forward, bypassing the first set-out location at track speed where the bearing continued to overheat and ultimately burned off the journal and derailed.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't hear about that one, but that's unacceptable on the conductor's part.
The mentioned
They should
cars
just be fired.
with defective bearings from East
You're done.
Palestine,
Go find a new career.
Newcastle. Currently, there is no national database to research historical trends.
Why? These people are absolutely unbelievable. I'd do anything to work for the STB. I would do anything to do it. Give me the power to hold these carriers accountable. I would probably end up committing suicide if they let me in. These people are absolutely unbelievable, and they will continue to get away with it. And let me tell you something. These carriers could flash money in front of me all they wanted to, and I would take it and I would shove it square up their ass. The crew did no wrong. They did the right thing. The rail cars were inspected, but the blame can't go to the carman either. I don't care what the carman did, because you never know. The carman could have saw that bearing and been like, "Yeah, man, the bearing's bad, but if I try to tag this car, they're probably gonna fire me for it." Like I said, it was brought to their attention in 2022. Robert, Oberman, all the STB, the FRA need to do their jobs. If they did their jobs, and I say that because I'm pissed off. But they may actually be trying to do it. They may actually be trying to hold them accountable, but they just have to catch them red-handed. They may be giving these carriers a little bit of slack. The only problem with that is they're giving them slack at they're basically gambling with potential lives here. If they're trying to catch these carriers, I understand there's a chess game that needs to be played there in order to actually pin these carriers and hold them accountable. But I mean, I feel like it would be pretty easy to narrow down carmen getting pulled out of service after they happen to tag a car for some type of defect. It shouldn't be too hard. I'm sure they could reach out to the unions, and the union president and all that stuff would probably like, "Oh yeah, we got a bunch of them. Here they are, and here's the carriers, here's the terminal superintendent, and let's start filing some lawsuits and let's start holding some people accountable." That's what we should be doing. Just my opinion here. Hit them where it hurts, and that's their pocketbook, and all these hedge funds and Wall Street will be pissed. Tell Oberman and Robert and whoever's on the STB now to get up in someone's ass. Like, it's time to stop talking. You've had 2 years now, actually over 2 years now, and it was a year, almost a year after this right here was when East Palestine happened. I promise you right now, there's rail cars on the tracks going through your neighborhood or your town that has FRA defects, and they can't be tagged and set out because carmen could potentially be fired for doing their job. It's bullshit.